Hey everybody, welcome to Journey Through the Generations. We're back with another episode. Trisha, how's it going?
Things are going good. I'm super excited to be able to talk about AAHGS and hear what's going on with the organization.
For sure. So today is a special episode. I interviewed the president of the Afro-American Historical and Genealogical Society. Her name is LaJoy Mosby. I interviewed her on my podcast, Black Genealogy Corner. So if you don't listen, go and subscribe to that podcast. I'd appreciate it. And so I decided to, play it on this podcast as well. And so we can get the word out about the organization and about the upcoming conference.
Absolutely. AAHGS is really where my genealogy conference journey started. That was one of the very first national conferences both of us went to in 2018. And when I say AAHGS embraced us and just took us in, they really did.
Yeah. And so in this interview, we talk about the organization, some of the projects they're working on, and their upcoming conference is happening October 18th through the 21st. And so I think they will close registration on the 17th. So you have a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's a virtual conference.
It is a virtual conference, all virtual. If you're not a member, you can become a member during the registration and you can get the member price of the registration.
But if you don't want to be a member, you just want to attend the conference, that's good too.
Just pay the regular price. So there's a lot of sessions, a lot of things that's going on with the conference. So I think you'll enjoy it. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start the interview right now. And then afterwards, we'll come back and close out the episode.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Hey, family. Welcome to another episode of the Black Genealogy Corner. I'm your host, Phillip, and here on the corner, I interview guests about their genealogy family research, allowing them to tell their special stories and how they found out that particular information. I also talk to numerous experts in the genealogy field about tips, tricks, and resources that'll help you along your research journey. But before we get started, please take a moment to like and subscribe to this video on YouTube. And if you enjoy podcasts, you can listen wherever you listen to your favorite shows. So today I have with me LaJoy Mosby. LaJoy is the current president of the Afro-American Historical and Genealogical Society, or as we refer to it as AAHGS. And so I'm very excited for you being here today, LaJoy. We finally got our schedules together, and we were able to get together and do this. So I'm happy to have you here, and I appreciate you for joining me here. So first, let's start off by telling everyone about your role within the organization.
First of all, let me say I'm glad to be here, Phillip. It's a pleasure, and I'm honored to be asked. I am the national president. I was elected in 2022. And AAHGS is a 46-year-old organization that was founded in 1977 in Washington, D.C. by a small group of historians and genealogists who really felt the need to share resources and methods for pursuing African-American genealogy and history. For more than 46 years, we are all volunteers. Our members have worked together to try to trace those historical ties that bind, us to one another, so that we can focus not only on the present and the past, but we'll have something to look forward to in the future.
That's wonderful. And we love AAHGS here. Me and my wife, Trisha, we've been members for, I guess, about 4 or 5 years now, something like that. And I've been volunteering with the organization since 2018. So, just for that very first time, me coming to the organization. So we love what AAHGS is about and what you guys are doing for folks learning more about genealogy, therefore learning about themselves. So that's awesome. Can you tell people how they can become a member if they wanted to and how they do that?
Sure. So there are a couple of ways you can become a member of AAHGS. We have our national website, which is www.aahgs.org. And if you go to the upper right-hand corner, it'll say join. And so you can click there and you can join. online. You'll get a email response with a membership number and etc. Or that's one way. Or if you live in an area where we have a local chapter, we have about 32 active chapters nationwide around the country. You can go join that local chapter and pay your national dues. And of course, you'd also pay local dues for the chapter that you would participate in. Now, our annual dues are $35 per individuals. We have $40 for families, which is two persons that live in the same house. I want to be clear about that. And then our student memberships are $20 for students aged 18 to 25, but you have to have an active school ID to get that student rate. And so our dues.
So student membership is new, right?
Yes, we actually implemented that in January of this year. And so our dues run from January to December. If you are a brand new member of AAHGS, you've never been a member of AAHGS before, for this period of time, and you pay your dues like this week, then your dues will not expire until December 2024. However, if you are a member of AAHGS and you just waited to pay your dues and you're renewing, your dues in December 23. Just want to make that clear.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. That's awesome that there's a student membership now because, in doing this, we always want to get younger people involved. A lot of times we see more of our senior cousins doing the family research, right? And so getting involved and doing the work continues after they're gone. And so getting young people involved is very important. And we're always looking for ways to do that. So I'm very happy to hear that there's a student membership now. That's awesome. Well, I'll put a link to the website, of course, in the description box. And please go and join. You won't regret it. You'll learn a lot. And so, LaJoy, I was looking at your website and I saw that there was a project that you guys are working on with the Civil War Blue Jackets. And this is the first time I've heard of them, by the way, but it's a transcription project, right? That the transcribed information about African-American Navy sailors. So can you tell us a little bit about that project and how it came to be and how can people get involved?
All right, yes. So the Civil War Blue Jackets project, we were approached last year by Northumbria University in the UK. And they had a grant to do this project. They were working on U.S. Navy muster rolls, looking primarily for people who were English and Irish. And then they were coming across all these African Americans, and they reached out and said, "Hey, would you like to partner with us on this venture?" We was like, "Sure." It took us a while. We figured it out how to work with them and sign that MOU. And basically, what this transcription project is to actually transcribe all of these ship muster rolls. This is very different from a transcription project, say, for example, like the Freedmen Bureau project that we did years ago, because you're using a tool called Zooniverse, and you're transcribing. It is cursive, 19th century cursive, but it's in columns. So you, instead of transcribing the whole page, the system will give you a column. You pick your column. Say you pick location, or you'll pick name, or you'll pick height, or eye color, or whatever else is on that muster roll, and you just do that column. So you can do like 35, 45, entries, and you finish that page. It takes about, maybe if you know how to read cursive, you could do it in about 15 minutes. And then, of course, you can do more, and more can be slightly addictive. So we have transcribed we've met our goal of transcribing 5,000 images. But we're still looking to do more. The project will continue through Veterans Day. Our goal was to start around Memorial Day. We started a little bit after that, and then we're going to go all the way through Veterans Day. And we hope to have a virtual event that talks about our participation in it. Most of the time when we think Civil War, we think U.S. colored troops, which are basically Army. But what we don't think about is those African Americans that lived near the ocean and walked, or the rivers, Mississippi River perhaps, walked to the water, to those naval ships, and ended up as Navy seamen. They weren't segregated. They were in ships all together with other people who were not of color. And so, and the thing about it was they also were eligible for pensions. So you have to look at their pensions in a different place because they're going to be probably with the regular union pensions. They were not going to be, segregated in the USCT subgroup. So this is excellent. So if some people say, "Oh well, I don't think my family member served in the Civil War," where they may have been on a ship. So we're really interested in this project, and we're very happy to be part of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I absolutely plan on helping out because I like doing transcription. I've done several projects with Family Search for the U.S. colored troops records, and I love it. I can do a lot of transcriptions too. So I've also done transcription with the 1950 census. And so, yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait to get involved in that. How can people get involved? Just go to the website and they can join and participate.
So if you go to the website, that image, that yellow image that's going through the carousel, you just click on that. It'll take you to the page. It'll tell you all about the project. And you can email projects@augs.org, and that will go to our special project chair. And we are meeting October 1st at 6 o'clock p.m. So go ahead and email them, and they'll send you the link. And we may actually also put the link in social media as we're trying to get more people. But for right now, just go ahead and email them. They'll send you the link to the meeting on Sunday. And if you're interested, she'll do one-on-ones with you to get you caught up with the platform. And we'll be glad to have you.
It's awesome, and anybody can participate, right? Not just.
Anybody can participate, whether you're a member of AAHGS or not. Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about 10 million names for a minute. It's obviously been in the press a lot lately, here in the past month or so. And I kind of just want to get your take on 10 million names and how AAHGS is involved in collaboration with American ancestors.
So, as you know, we are a collaborative partner with 10 Million Names.
Right, right.
We were at the launch of this project that happened at the National Association of Black Journalists conference in Birmingham last month. We support this project. It is a lofty endeavor that's going to take years to develop, but it has the potential of becoming a portal for discovery of information that can be useful to many of us that are seeking those early records that may not be in the public domain. Now, as you may or may not know, Family Search is also a major partner with them, as well as other organizations. So we right now are, let me put it this way. The program, to me, the project has created what I call their high level structure. And I certainly anticipate there being some evolution of some aspect of the project as it goes along. But I think the reality of it is, as the oldest genealogical society in the United States, this project is being done by American ancestors. This has the potential of being an extremely good repository for people who are looking for public access to information. It's billed as reverse genealogy, as they say. They want to start from the beginning and move forward. Meaning, we know typical genealogy starts with us and goes backward. So I look at it as, like I say, it's going to take time for this to really be what I think we anticipate that it will be. One of the things that I think about in terms of 10 million names is that on occasion we get calls or emails, and even at the NGS conference, we were approached by people who are descendants of enslavers. They have documentation that's not in the public domain. They want to know, where can I send it? Well, from now on, we're telling them we never accept that type of information because we don't have the repository to do that. But 10 Million Names is a wonderful place for that information to be. And then for those of us who, after many years of researching, might be the only person in our family who really is super interested, we need to figure out what's going to happen to that information when we're no longer here. And we'd like it to be in the public domain so others can have access to it, including our own families.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, my wife and I, and she has a ton of, programs, newspaper articles, and things with her grandmother on it. And we're just trying to figure out, like, where do we put some of this stuff and how may it help someone later on down the line, right? And that's what that program, is. It's right. It's a place for all of that, right?
Right. The goal is to have a the goal is to have a repository of information that will allow people to find their families. There are a couple of repositories around the country that will accept our personal research, but the key is that Timmy and Names will make it uh, available, and it's supposed to stay free for access to the public. And so there's an advisory council, there are scholars, there are a lot of historians involved. We are hopeful that there will be more genealogists, professional genealogists involved as the project evolves. And so I'm looking forward to seeing the project. And also we have a presentation on the project during the national conference by those who are directly involved in the project. And so I think that'll be on Friday night, October 20th.
And as you talked about that, I just think about how many people across the country have information just sitting in their closets or in the storage room or something, somewhere that they don't know what to do with it. The stuff they don't know what to do with. And it's just so much information out there that can help so
Yeah.
many people. And that's exciting to me. So you mentioned the conference just a minute ago. So I think this is probably a perfect opportunity to start talking about it, right? So the AAHGS National Conference, can you just kind of explain to people what it is and, of course, when it is, because it's coming up soon, right?
Yes. So the AAHGS National Conference is essentially 4 days of African American focused genealogy and African American history education in a nutshell. It's a great value. It's the ability to access the quality of speakers that we have and the level of information for those 4 days. And you can you can still view all of the recordings up until December 31st of this year. Yay. So if you don't get a chance to view everything during the conference, which is October 18th through the 21st, you'll have plenty of time to set aside. I always tell people set aside about a couple of hours, either on the weekend or in the evening, to go back and look at the workshops that you want to view. So we'll have live and pre-recorded sessions with chat, so that you can ask questions and interact with with all the presenters. And I think about the fact that you're in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah.
You have the ability to look at this when it airs or during your own time. There are multiple workshops in each time slot. So if there's say there's two workshops you want to see, you look at one and you can come back and look at the other one at a later date. It's a great value because it's under $200. And I can tell you, and as Phillip can tell you as well, we have been in those genealogy institutes and other programs that are far more expensive for less days. So I think it's a really good value. And I think anyone, whether you're a beginner genealogist or you're advanced, you will really get something out of this conference.
Yeah, and that's what, my next question was going to be. You just kind of touched on it. It was like, who is this for? Like, it's not just for the advanced genealogists.
No.
It's for everybody.
Yes. So on that first day, on Wednesday afternoon, Dr. Shelley Murphy, who many of you have seen on national television in recent weeks, will do the first time attendee and new member orientation. She's been doing it for you. I remember the first time I saw her do it in person back in 2012 when I went to my first AAHGS conference, and it was just amazing. Dr. Murphy is wonderful. And that will help anyone that's attending for the first time and just getting started for the first time. That afternoon at 4 o'clock, we're going to have our first live learning lab. It's called Fundamentals of Genealogy Learning Lab. And that's going to be taught by Stacy Bell, who's our New York chapter president. And then, we over the course of the week, there are just a variety of workshops. As I said, for people who are beginners, people who are intermediate, people that are advanced. We're talking about DNA, we're talking about technology, utilization of records. There's military record information. There's methodologies and strategies. There we have 7 workshops that are dedicated to Afro-Caribbean research this year. There's something for everybody during this conference.
That's important, right? That everybody can attend and learn something. And, one of the things that we've been talking about this conference, for a few minutes, but I think it's very important to mention that this is a virtual conference.
Yes.
All virtual. So no in-person component. And that's the great thing about virtual, right? If it's done right, it could be like LaJoy mentioned, sessions that are able to be viewed later. So you don't have to try to do everything all at once. It's okay. Yes.
Yes. I forgot to mention our theme. Our theme this year is Hiding in Plain Sight, Recovering the Erased Stories of Our Ancestors in the United States and the Caribbean. This year is the first time I think we have included the Caribbean in our title. We've had in our theme, rather. And we, as I said, we have a variety of workshops about researching records in the Caribbean, also, which includes Puerto Rico.
And when I saw that, I was so happy because, in my research, it has taken me on my paternal side to the Caribbean. And so I haven't, figured, that research out yet. But when I saw that come up, I go, oh, I know I'm going to learn something this year. I just know it.
Yeah, I think I love it. We even have, even one of our presenters is from the UK. But we also have a wonderful workshop that by Diane Wormsley. So if you were in it, if your family heritage comes from a British focused island in the Caribbean, she's going to talk about how to research, how to obtain and to research those records.
Thank you. I will definitely be there. Definitely be there. So you mentioned a couple of speakers that you'll have. What about the types of sessions that you'll have, special sessions? So you can talk a little bit more about that.
Sure. Well, so special sessions, let me start with, we have a few. So, so on Wednesday evening, we're going to have our State of the Society, in which I and our National Treasurer and our National Bylaws Chair, we're going to talk about the state of AAHGS.
Yeah.
This is the meeting, as we say, for our members and our guests to let you know about how our organization is doing. It's an overview of the status of our organization. Now, on Thursday, it's when we have our national awards and our International Book Awards program, Thursday evening. Yeah, you'll want to tune in for that. That's going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
On Friday evening is the 10 Million Names. That's a live event, a 10 Million Names presentation. On Saturday afternoon, we're going to have a multi-generational panel. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention that our opening plenary is Pennsylvania State Representative Christopher Rabb and radio personality Charles B. Ellison. They're going to have a conversation. This is something a little different for us. Instead of just having someone give you a speech, we're going to have a conversation. They're going to have a conversation about genealogy and African-American history. And then on Friday morning, our featured speaker is genealogist Christopher Smothers. He's one of I call young lions. He's one of our younger genealogists. And that will be a live session. And he's going to talk about these public trees that we all look at and how we can make our family connections with the slaveholders and our enslaved ancestors. So we feel like we have some really good special programs throughout the day. I cannot forget that during lunchtime every day, we have live sessions with Family Search. So if you are not using Family Search right now, I would say the horror. How could you not use Family Search? All right. Family Search has been a partner of AAHGS for many, many, many years, and they're actually a life member of the organization. And they will be providing us with highlights and overviews every day at lunchtime live about the new services and collections and how to get the best use out of Family Search. You'll be able to ask questions, and it's just going to be wonderful. It's just going to be wonderful.
Yeah, that's good. And that's a lot going on, right, in the 4 days. So, please don't feel overwhelmed. I mean, it is a lot, but it would be of great benefit to you to watch the conference and get involved. And
So,
I'm sure you need volunteers, right,
yes,
to help with everything.
always. We have this year, when we're speaking of young people, we have our college interns that we have about 14 or 15 undergraduate students that will be working with us as monitors during the sessions. And we also have AAHGS members that are also working alongside those young people as workshop monitors. But as they say, we have some, but we could always use a few more. So you can email me at president@augs.org if you're interested in that.
Yeah, like I've mentioned, I've been a part of volunteering at AUGS and working with AUGS on the conference for the past few years. And when we went virtual, right, in 2020 because of COVID, I got heavily involved because I have a little bit of a technology background and can help out on those things.
Mhm.
And so, we could always use that volunteers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we could always do that. Do you want to take some time to call out any sponsors or anything for the conference, the organizations that are supporting you?
Well, yes, I can do that. And then I want to, but before I do that, let me highlight some of the
Oh,
speakers.
yes,
So
please.
from Ancestry, Krista Cowan and Nika Smith.
Mm-hmm.
As I talked about Family Search, that's going to be Tom Reed. And of course, we have our notable genealogists, Dr. Shelley Murphy. We have others such as LaBrenda Garrett, Robin Smith from Reclaiming Kin, Brian Sheffy, you know him from Genealogy Adventures, DNA expert Shannon Christmas, Dr. Ellen Fernandez, and Diane Richards, just a variety of people. They're wonderful folks. Those are the ones that come to mind, and but there are many, many more. There are many, many more. It's all that the bad thing about calling out names, you can't call out everybody's name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
In
You're right.
terms of our sponsors, our platinum sponsors, our highest level sponsors are 10 Million Names, and then the Daughters of the American Revolution. For our Go sponsors, Family Search and an energy company out of Virginia, BHG&E, I believe that is what it's called. Family Tree Maker is coming in at silver along with Ancestry. And we have a variety of nonprofit sponsors, which include the Library of Virginia, Museum of American Revolution, National Genealogical Society, Sons and Daughters of the United Middle Passage, the Association of Professional Genealogists, the Society of First African Families of English America with Sophia is also a bronze sponsor. So we have a lot of nonprofit and commercial sponsors that are with us this year, and I hope I didn't leave anybody out. Those are the ones.
Yeah, well, I'll put a link to where the sponsors are so everybody can see it.
Yes.
But I mean, they're all just the real deal. I'll get support from the biggest organizations and companies in the genealogy space and some of the big names, right, in genealogy. And so yeah, this is the place to be. I think you definitely want to be a part of this, and this should be a part of your annual conference schedule.
I agree. I think we have done this virtual conference for the last 4 years. I know people want to know when we're going to go back live.
And that was my next question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're working on that. We're trying to figure that out. We want to figure out what we're going to do next year. The board has been talking about how we want to approach this. Um, we also know that the pandemic has been tough on our chapters.
Yeah.
It's been tough on a lot of spaces. And so we need to figure out how to make the best use of our funds and our time and our energy. And so we're trying to work that out. We're trying to figure out how to do that. There are a variety of ways to do that, and we're looking at the best way to do that. and depending on what conference you go to, in some cases, conference attendance is down. In other cases, conference attendance is up. The genealogy community is an older community. And with COVID spurts coming up and down, there's been, in some cases, just across the whole genealogy spectrum, regardless, the attendance hasn't been quite what any of the genealogy societies that did live conferences thought they were going to be. So some of them that were live this year are going back virtual next year. So I don't think that that's what we're going to do yet. We're still trying to figure it out. So I know people are like, well, when are you going to make that decision? I might know in a few weeks when we get ready to do the State of Society. We may have decided, but maybe not. So we're looking at a few things, a few ways of doing things, of easing back into this, and to see the best way that we can. And what we want to do when we go back live, or if we go hybrid, we want to be able to have multiple years of locations defined. And so that we can say, this is where we're going to be this year, 3 years out. And so that you'll be able to know and plan, and God willing, if we don't have any more pandemics, we'll be able to, figure all of this out. So I wish I had a more definitive answer, but that's where we are right now.
Yeah, that's what it's going to have to do for now. So before we get done, I just wanted to ask you, is there or are there any other programs that AAHGS is working on that you want to, talk about or make people aware of?
Well, one of the things that we're trying to do is to, in addition to the conference, one of the things we started actually in February of this year, we were doing monthly free virtual, free for our financial members now. Those are people who pay dues, monthly free virtual offerings. And so every month we call it Sunday Afternoon with AAHGS. It's on the third Sunday at 6:00. So from February to I think May, we had different speakers on a variety of topics. We had a special program in April on DNA Day that was really well attended. So we have a couple of hundred people that are always online for those particular projects. We will resume that next year. We'll probably have a few programs in November and December as well. We are hoping that we're also in the midst of doing a few things. Our national bylaws are in the midst of being totally revised. We will talk about that during the State of the Society. And we are going to a new online platform. We're there. We're building those pages are being built out. We're providing the content and trying to get the database in the back end all set up so that when we do complete this, which we hope will be by the end of October, we'll have we'll probably do YouTube and have a walk everyone through the platform, show everybody how it works. It won't be it'll be different from what we have now, but it should be easier to navigate. That is the goal. And so we want to get it right. So we have taken our time. There were other national genealogy societies that did this during the pandemic, and some of them took a year to get it done. We have been working on this for, I would probably say we started on it. We picked our platform latter part of last year, and we started working on it actually started probably around December of last year, and just trying to figure it all out and make sure of what we needed and what we wanted for this new platform. So it's not just a website. People think, oh, well, it's just a new website. No, this is a association management platform. And so we want to streamline membership, how we pay our dues, and make it just much more user-friendly and more content, make the content more usable for everybody involved. So we're involved in several major things. And as I said, we're all volunteers. And, we have young people, I call them young people like Phillip, who work. And then you have a little people who are a little bit older, like me, that are retired. So we're all trying to work together to get all of this done in a way that works best for our society.
Yeah, that's awesome to see the continuation of progress, within the organization. So, LaJoy, can you tell people how they can find AAHGS and learn more about AAHGS in your social media?
Well, we're on Facebook. I think it should. So now, mind you, a lot of chapters are on Facebook too. So you want to look for the Afro-American Historical and Genealogical Society without anything else. So because you'll see the Central Maryland chapter of, you'll see Atlanta chapter of, you'll see New York and all of. But you just want to look for our main page. We're there. We're also on Instagram, and we're on LinkedIn. So those are the three social media platforms we're on at this time. And so we encourage you to follow us, follow our pages, share the information that's being posted there. Oh, I hasten to forget, it'll be the regular registration rates, which is still good. And so we encourage you to go ahead and register. If you are not a member of AAHGS, you can join AAHGS through the non-member. You go in as a non-member and pay your dues. And you can get the membership rate. Now, once you do that, after the conference, as I said, we're all volunteers. After the conference, give us a few weeks, and then we will get you into the system, and you'll get an email with your membership number and telling you how to access the website and all of those wonderful things, because we have these wonderful publications. We have quarterly newsletters. We have peer-reviewed journals. We have there are other benefits of our membership. There are that are listed on our website that you should go take a look at. AAHGS is a good organization to be a part of. You can learn a lot. Most people, like Phillip and others, will tell you that if you have opportunity to participate in a chapter in particular, it's usually really very good. The type of programs that the chapters have, our collaborations with historical societies and other genealogy societies and libraries and whoever else is in our community. If you're interested in starting a chapter, we always look forward to people who are interested in becoming part of AAHGS, and so we welcome you to venture to contact us if that's something that you're interested in. We know there are a few organizations that are out there looking at becoming members of AAHGS, or a couple of groups, and we are hoping to bring on some new chapters hopefully by next year. So there might be a chapter. If there's not one in your neighborhood right now, there may be one by 2024.
Yeah, that's awesome. And of course, I will leave links to all of that in the description box of this episode. So please feel free to go and check that out. LaJoy, I really appreciate you joining me. You guys, please take a look at AAHGS and become a member, and certainly go to the website and register for the conference, AAHGS.org. You want to go and do that as quickly as possible.
Yes.
Yeah. AAHGS is a big time organization in the family history, genealogy space. And they have folks like Family Search and Ancestry, people like Dr. Shelley Murphy and Bernice Bennett involved with this organization. There are many others too. And they provide important information, tips, guidance, assistance, all of that good programming every single year. And so if you're not a member, I think you're missing out. LaJoy, thank you so much for joining me. This was awesome to get a chance to talk to you about AAHGS and the organization and, of course, the conference.
You're quite welcome, Phillip. It's been my pleasure.
Here's a genealogy tip for you. Doing this can be an expensive hobby, but don't worry. There are plenty of ways for you to save money or even do it for free. Here's a few. Number 1, take advantage of holiday sales. There will be plenty of companies and organizations out there providing their resources for a discount. So make sure you take advantage of those resources, and also make sure you stock up on DNA kits. 2, use your local library. Most have a genealogy center, and at the very least, a computer where you can access sites like Ancestry. So make sure you go and visit your local library. And 3, use Family Search. FamilySearch.org is free. You can search records, and it will help you find your family. I'll put down in the description box a link to another podcast with more tips like the ones I just mentioned. Good luck. All right, so thank you guys for listening. Do me a favor and subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your favorite shows, and on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Instagram at Black Genealogy Corner. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that interview that I did with LaJoy. It was a great pleasure to speak with her. She's awesome. I enjoy working with her. And so what did you think about?
I thought it was a great interview. She gave us great information about the organization as a whole, and of course the conference. And I just love AAHGS. There's nothing that I could say so much. I mean, we've had podcasts dedicated to AAHGS, so I could talk about AAHGS all day. So
yes, so please go and register for the conference. It's October 18th through the 21st. They close the registration on the 17th, so you have a few weeks left. If you, or a couple of weeks, I guess, it's coming up really fast.
It'll be here before we know it.
If you're not a member, you can register at the member rate if you go ahead and join as a member. If not, then you just join at the regular conference.
Just attend the conference and learn lots and lots of information. Although it is an African-American based conference, there is definitely information for everybody out there.
Yep. So where can they go and register for the conference?
AAHGS.org. That is AAHGS.org.
All right, guys. I hope to see you at the virtual conference. If you're there, look me up on the attendees section and say hi. It'd be nice to connect with you. All right. I think we'll go ahead and end it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you. All the information shared today will be in the description box of this episode, along with all of our social media. Please tell a friend, your family members, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'd really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. Yeah, take care.